Right, so the video you're about to watch was actually recorded either just over or just under a week ago. I can't quite remember. So if any of the information feels or seems a bit outdated, then that is why. If you sat thinking to yourself, why hasn't he mentioned this that happened in the Reading game? That's why, because at the time of the recording, it hadn't happened yet. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoy this video. Blues this summer are absolutely cooking.
Do you smell what
Blues
is cooking? The Rock says, The Rock says, The Rock says.
Now, if that didn't make you cringe, then I'm sorry, but you don't have a soul. But if you want to talk about why Blues are cooking, I mean, we can look to the transfers. We can look to the pre-season friendlies. There are many reasons and many aspects where Blues are absolutely chefing it up. You know, Blues transfer strategy this summer feels a lot like the Royal Rumble in many ways, in the sense that there's a new signing every 5 minutes. You don't have a clue who we're going to sign next. You don't have a clue who we're going to chuck out next, yet you're still sat on the edge of your seat, very, very, very excited. But much like the Royal Rumble, there can only be one man left standing. No, I'm joking. That was very obviously a joke. But there have been quite a few standout signings for Blues this summer. Now, a lot of these signings have been absolutely statement signings that most teams, especially in this league, would be lucky to make one of, yet we're making 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 statement signings of players that, you know, really are championship quality and above. Not a chance most of the players we've signed would be kicking it in League One if it weren't for Blues. Now, but within all these statement signings, there is one player who I think is going to really be a difference maker for Blues next season. And that man is Swedish. He is a left winger. And he is probably going to wear the number 7 next season. Is any of this sounding familiar at all? It's Emil Hansson. No, I'm only joking, but I feel like it must be a bit of an honour to be compared to Seb Larsson. I mean, he's a Swedish all-time great. But Emil Hansson is a player I've been looking at a lot ever since Blues signed him, because I've been very impressed with what I've seen of him. And then doing the research for this video, I've just been even more impressed with what I've seen. So much so that I'm putting my hat out there. And I think that he is going to be the real standout for this season and a real difference maker for Blues. But let's get into why. So if we're first going to talk about Emil Hansson, we have to talk about when he joined us and his value, because if we look at Emil Hansson and when he joined us and his value, he is the 6th most expensive League One player of all time. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't actually account to a lot of money. It's only 1.75 million euros, which I suppose for this league is a lot of money, but in the grander scheme of things, not really. But what you get from this is he's not really a nobody, but he's not necessarily the most popular, well-known guy out there at all. So if we're going to analyse Hansson and how well he could do at Blues, I think it's very important to analyse his actual match performances. Let's take a look at his highlights, see how he's playing, and see if we can kind of get an understanding of how he plays. Now, starting out, we do have Blues versus Rangers. This is the first highlight you see there. Great touch, great through ball. Miyoshi can't do anything with it, but you look at that for a chance created. I mean, catches the ball, pretty much intercepts it. Great touch to bring it down and set himself, and then puts that through ball in a great amount of space for Miyoshi to run onto. All it takes is for Miyoshi to maybe take his time a bit more, or even go quicker, and it's a goal. And that's, you know, first assist locked up for him. Well, not first assist for Blues, but first assist of the match. You get my gist. Now, this is the next highlight we have. What's this? I mean, I know what this is going to be. Look at that for a ball. That is an absurd ball. But again, if we take a look at that, I mean, Miyoshi's done very great to get on the end of that ball and put it into a dangerous area. But that is a big chance created. It's a near picture-perfect ball to find Miyoshi, for one. And for two, it really changes the play, which is something we haven't seen a lot with Blues, especially with wingers. Oftentimes at Blues, we've seen just the basic. They receive the ball and they kind of run down the flank and then eventually look for the crossing, whereas instantly he's going straight for that long ball, right to the other flank where there's open space. And again, it's another great chance and a goal nearly comes from it. So now we have highlight number 3. I'm not sure what this is. I'm right here. Shoulder flick on, puts Alfie May through. Again, Alfie May can't put it away. But, I mean, you look at that, and that could have very easily been his 2nd assist of the game. could have been the third big chance he created. It was the third big chance he created. I mean, let's look at it realistically. This variety and versatility from a winger is something that we haven't seen as Blues fans in a while. We haven't seen chances created like this from Blues in a while. And I mean, you look at the team we're playing, it's not like we're taking the mick against some non-league side. We're playing the second biggest team in Scotland. Don't crucify me for that. Maybe they are the biggest. I'm just saying right now, they're probably the second biggest. But you get my, they're not some poxy little team. They have won like Scottish titles. Again, that doesn't amount for much, but you get my point. Now here we have the next highlight. Again, led through onside. Ball across. I mean, Hansson's in acres of space. He doesn't put the ball away, but for me, the not scoring isn't the most important thing here. I think the most important thing here is his positioning. Because, if I can go back, look at the amount of space he finds himself in. Now, he's not in this position by pure luck, pure chance. He's in there because of his footballing brain, his footballing knowledge, and his ability to find open space. Now, granted, the shot wasn't great. If you do look, and we go back a little bit, you can see that the ball does take a little bobble as it goes across. But you watch the ball, there, it's bobbling. So it's a bit difficult to hit. I'm not making excuses for him. He's a professional footballer. He probably should be doing better. But, you know, if that's dead across the floor, he's going to get a better strike on it. And, you know, that could have very easily been a goal in different circumstances. Again, it's not, so it doesn't really matter. But, again, we're just looking at a base value that this isn't going to be the only chance this season that he gets like that. There'll be plenty of them. So, if he can just put away, like, not even 50% of them, he'll amass a decent goal tally this season. So now we have the final highlight of this match. And again, another great ball. And again, Willemsen could have very easily put that away. That could have very easily been, what, a third assist for this game? And this is just the first half, I'm fairly sure. Maybe we're in the second half now, but I'm sure this is just the first half. Look at great ball. Again, Willemsen just loses a bit of balance and goes down. But it could have been a goal, man. And this is what I mean. These chances that I'm seeing created by Hansson, it's so foreign to me. Because for the last so many years, I haven't seen anything like this from a Blues player. I mean, when I was young, don't get me wrong, I've seen a lot of this. Well, not a lot of this, but, you know, a lot of chances created. But never like this. Never anything like this. And I look at where these chances are coming from, and they're all coming from Hansson. And that's why I think he's really going to be a difference maker for this team. Because we know the team's going to make a lot of chances anyway with players like Jordan James, should he stay, Pike, should he stay, Willemsen, Miyoshi. But Hansson, I mean, you look at this highlights video, there's so many more highlights from Hansson, or so many more chances from Hansson than anyone else on the pitch. It's ridiculous. Now, I do also have a Heracles highlights kind of video from last season. Is it last season? No, this is the season before last season, from this guy, Lamerson7, so big thank you to him. We're just going to take a look at it, though. Like I said, it's 2 seasons old, but you're going to get a gist of kind of how he plays and how he played in the Eredivisie. So after this intro, anytime today. There's Hansson. Okay, can I just like skip a few seconds, please? Just, yeah, here we go. Okay, that's just a pass. Here we go again, cutting in on the right foot. I mean, look at that for an assist. We've seen him doing so many similar things for Blues, and there's it actually working. Again, another on the right foot. Another assist. Here he goes again. Cutting on the right foot. Nothing came from that one. He's just cutting on the right foot, but you get the point. And again, there you go. Down the line, another assist. So again, he's not going to be a one-dimensional player where he's just always cutting on the right foot. We've seen he can run down the line as well. And again, there's another example. The player, if you go back and watch it, Hansson reads the body language and he can tell the player thinks he's going to cut in. Look, you watch the player's body language. He's running like that because he's expecting him to turn, but he doesn't turn, and that's where he steps in, takes it on the left. And again, yep, another assist. The point is that Hansson is versatile. People are going to very quickly say, oh, but he only cuts in on his right foot. That's going to get found out very quickly. It's not, because he doesn't just cut in on his right foot. Again, we have seen a lot of it, and that's because, you know, he is right-footed. He's obviously going to more often go to his right, but he can go to the left as well, and that's what's going to confuse defenders, because defenders aren't going to want to commit to him cutting inside, you know, too much, just in case he does follow it down the line. What's this example? Again, see, taking down the line onto the left foot, and I'm guessing he got an assist. Of course he did. Again, another one. How many assists is going to get this video? Again, another one on the left foot. Is it going to be assist? Yeah, it's an assist. Of course it is. This is just ridiculous. These chances created, Again, this is the Eredivisie. This might actually be the second division of Dutch football. I'm not sure. But the point is, in League One, stuff like this is going to be absurd. If he can create chances like this in League One, he's going to rack up a stupid amount of assists. Again, is that a free kick? Again, look, it's ridiculous, man. It really is ridiculous. And again, that's him coming in for a goal. See, this goes back to what I say about that, was it the Laird ball where he put it wide. Again, he finds himself in that position to receive the ball from the opposing winger on cutting inside very often. So, again, he's going to put away a few of them very comfortably. So now that we've looked at some highlights of Hansson, I do just want to have a quick look at his stats just to kind of further back up my point of how he plays. I mean, he's an entirely left winger. We can see he did have a lengthy calf injury here, so that's maybe something to look out for and hope that that doesn't happen again. But again, you start to look at the goals and assists. Again, we look here, 2 assists in a 3-1 win. You look at a goal there, 2 goals in a 2-1 win, so contributed both goals, pretty much secured them the win. Again, you don't know the circumstances, but here, goal and assist in a 2-1 win, so contributed for both goals. Again, there's so many contributions here, and like I said, the chances he's going to create, it's just going to be ridiculous. So now I do want to take a quick minute to look at how he'd fit in Blue's system. Now, this is the team that I've set up on Lineup Builder. Now, this is pretty much the system that Blues have been playing for a lot of pre-season. Now, you can look at this and say, well, James might be leaving, Pike might be leaving, Bielik's injured with a dislocated shoulder, he's going to be out for a few weeks, but none of that really matters too much. The point is, we're here to talk about Hansson and how he plays. Now, you look at the players around him, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, we don't have to worry too much about the defence because, as we've seen in the highlights, he's a very progressive footballer, you know. His passing range isn't picking up the ball and sending it straight back to the left back or the centre back, like we've seen so often from Blues in the past. He receives the ball and he's running forward with it, or he receives the ball, lays it back off again, allows, say, James in this example, to hold up the ball for a minute, and he'll make the run to receive it again. And not only that, but we see him cut inside on that right, and he's pinging balls in to the goal or for May, or they're over to Miyoshi like we've seen for that chance that they had against Rangers. Now, when it comes to a player like Hansson, and I take a look at, you know, the chances he's going to create, I have to look at the players around him, because these are going to be the guys that are going to be getting on the end of them. These are going to be the guys that are scoring the goals that he's assisted. And again, when you look at the options like Alfie, mate, or Stansfield, should he sign, Miyoshi, or maybe Dembele, again, that is a controversial thing that I will get onto in a sec about Dembele. But you look at Williamson, who again could have very easily scored a goal created by Hansson against Rangers, James, Pike. We have some very competent goal scorers here, and he will put balls on a plate for all of these guys. And again, we talk about his link-up play as well. Look at the players he's going to be linking up with. Look at the triangles, man. These are just absurd. I can't emphasise enough how good he's going to be. But since I mentioned Dembele, let's go on to the slight problem that I could see with Dembele. Now, the last 2 pre-season games, Dembele has started over Hansson against Warsaw and against West Brom, which was today, but will be either yesterday or the day before for you. Now, I'm obviously of the opinion that I prefer Hansson to Dembele, and the reason for this is because I think Hansson offers a lot more than Dembele does. I'm not saying Dembele isn't a good player. I'm not saying he's bad by any means or he shouldn't get any minutes for Blues. That's not what I'm saying. I just think Hansson would be my first choice because he offers more, he creates more, he'll probably finish about the same, maybe less, but you get the point. Now, Dembele, as things stand, is linked with a move away anyway. There's a few championship clubs that are in for him, apparently, Blackburn being the main one, so he could leave, and if he does leave, then Hansson will obviously be first choice. But if Dembele does stay, then I kind of see Hansson being rotation with Dembele again. I don't think he's going to play all 46 games in the championship, we're in League One. I don't think he's going to play all 46 games in League One, but I think with Dembele, it'll be a mixed bag. They'll both probably get about 30 through, you know, again, coming off the bench, starting back and forth, because again, you want to keep them both fit. Again, we don't know that Hansson does or doesn't have an injury problem, but we did see that last season he spent, you know, a decent period out with injury, so it's nice to have Dembele as a backup. Again, maybe someone you can rotate with, because Dembele's going to want game time, especially in this league, but Hansson would be my first choice. So now, finally, to cap off this video, let's make a prediction for Hansson this season. First, let's talk about his goals and assists. I mean, I think in terms of goals, it could be anything. It could range from 1 to 10 to maybe even 20. Who knows? The point is, I think he'll put away whatever percent of the chances he is receiving. I'll be optimistic and say like 20%, so 1 in 5 chances that he gets, he'll put away, and estimate that that'll roughly equate to about 8 goals. Now, in terms of assists, this I think is going to be very dependent on the amount of games that he plays, because the way I look at it is there is 46 games in the league next season, 4 Blues to play. Now, for him to get double figures assists, 10, he would have to assist once every 4.6 games. Now, if he can't assist in once in every 4.6 games, relying that he plays all of them, then that's not very good, and I think he'll do a lot more than that. I mean, we look at the chances he's creating, multiple every single match. Again, he could very well net 40 assists. He won't, but he could. I think it's going to be well into the double figures assists. I think he is going to be probably the assist leader for League One by a country mile. At least that's my prediction. And I'm going to guesstimate. We won't go just league, we'll go all comps. So I'm saying, in all comps, I'm saying 8 goals. And then in all comps, I'm saying 17 assists. That's my prediction, just because I think he'll get enough minutes to amount that amount of assists. Again, he might not. He could end up being a complete and utter bench warmer, which I hope isn't the case, because I think he's unreal. So, again, that doesn't mean much to Chris Davies, does it? But you get my gist. I've said you get my gist a lot in this video, so I am very sorry for that if it's getting on your nerves. It does get on my nerves when I watch these videos back and I've said something over and over and over again. Now, in terms of end of season awards next season, do I think he'll win any? Maybe. I think he'll probably get the Players Player of the Season, because I think they're all going to love him. I think with the amount of chances he is going to provide for all of them and the amount of assists he's going to get them all, I think they're going to love him, and he'll probably get Players Player of the Season. That's my bold prediction. I don't think he will win Player of the Season or anything, though. I just think that he'll be outshined by the players that are getting most of the goals, because, you know, everyone loves a goal scorer. Again, that's not to say people don't love the creators, but, again, they don't tend to get as much credit as the goal scorers do, being realistic. But I think he will absolutely shine for Blues, and I think could end up being one of the most underrated signings, underrated players in the entire league. Like I said, for me, this season for Blues, of all the signings we made, of all the players we already had, he is my one to watch, because I think he is going to be absolutely incredible next season. And, you know, I could be coming back to this video in a year's time and saying, I told you so. Or I could be coming back and eating a healthy slice of humble pie. So, we'll see. Nevertheless, so that's going to about wrap things up for today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed this video, because so much time and effort went into making this and doing all the research and finding everything out. So, please, if you have enjoyed it, go down below, leave a like. Let me know what you've thought in the comments. Let me know what you think of Hansson in the comments, or what player you might think could be signing of the season, whatever. Just please engage with this video. Let it do well for my sanity. And as always, if you are new here, please go down below and subscribe. We are so close to 3,000 subscribers, so maybe this could push us over the edge. But I am rambling now, so we'll just cut things off here. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.